At beautiful Felts Field in Spokane, Washington, you'll find an incredible collection of airplanes at the historic Flight Foundation. The Airworthy Collection showcases the explosion of innovation from the 1920s through the 1950s.
So we began with the Lindbergh crossing in 27, and somewhat arbitrarily figured 30 years. Though in 1957, the same flight that Lindbergh accomplished in 27 in the Ryan was flown by a Boeing 707 at 500 miles an hour at 35,000 feet with 150 passengers on board. So when you put it in those terms, it's quite an evolution in a short period of time, with World War II defining the midpoint.
The goal is to inspire the next generation.
It's really a metaphor, particularly with the young people to come today. There may never be a period again in our aviation history, when you speak of aviation in terms of primarily fixed-wing aircraft, that is quite as robust as the period that we feature. However, it's a metaphor in the sense that some other field of endeavor that involves technology will have a period that's romantic, that's under-regulated, that allows for rapid evolution, and that's perhaps properly financed, that they can be passionate about.
And many of the airplanes here have incredible stories, like the Spitfire.
The Spitfire that we feature is a Mark 9E. It was flown in an RAF squadron that featured Czech pilots. And then after World War II, a fellow by the name of Karl Posta, who had survived the Blitz, the Battle for France, the Battle of Britain, D-Day, and VE Day. And in the two succeeding years, his job was primarily to fly aerobatic demonstrations over large crowds of people, just to try to elevate the morale and self-esteem of vanquished people.
The B-25 here is named after a renowned bomber in World War II.
Yes, it is Grumpy 2. Grumpy 1 was perhaps the luckiest bomber in World War II. It survived 125 missions at a point in the war when the survival rate of B-25 crews for 25 missions was only 40%. So it was kind of a Teflon bomber. Our particular airframe was not in combat, but it was a Lend-Lease airplane and flew with the RAF in World War II. And as far as we know, it's the oldest surviving B-25 bomber airframe. There is one serial number prior, but it was used by Hap Arnold for transport. It was not actually in a bomber role.
And the museum has the only remaining Hamilton H-47 metal plane.
And it has several records, the type, including first flight from Alaska to Asia. This particular airframe was used as a commercial airliner in the late 20s and early 30s between the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, Montana, Spokane, and Seattle.
The museum is open to the public Tuesday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It will be open during the AOPA Fly-In September 9th and 10th. And the museum is hosting a special event on Friday night.
We're going to have a big band dinner dance with a 9-piece orchestra, vocalist, and grand piano, and professional dancers to show us how it's done. Nice dinner. We have capacity for 325 people. I imagine it'll sell out before the event. So we'll be doing that evening event to make sure that folks have something they can do on the airport that's fun. We'll have barbecues around, we'll have rides in the DC-3 available to people who are visiting. We'll have all of our normal exhibits and movies in the theater and, you know, the usual fun stuff.
Josh Cochran, AOPA pilot.